What the fuck was this chapter? This is what I'm talking about. This is the type of thing that I'm excited about, which is that old school Oda, you get the outside world stuff, arc starts, focus on the Straw Hats, arc ends, you get some more outside world stuff, right? New school Oda, Final Saga Oda, doesn't give a fuck. It's all happening at the same time. That's so cool. Because, think about it. Egghead Island starts. It seems like we're done with the outside world stuff. We got to see a bit of Blackbeard. We got to see a bit of Crossguild. We got to see a bit of Im, right? Egghead Island starts. Cool. We've all accepted we're in a new arc. It's about Vegapunk. Exciting. We don't need all that other stuff now, right? We think. But then what's going on? The arc's rolling. Who's this? It's Law, and he's fighting Blackbeard. The Blackbeard pirates are fighting the Heart pirates at the same time as the Straw Hats are doing stuff. This shit never happens. We never cut away like that. We don't get to see the full fight. That's okay. But then a little later, what's going on? Garp's off to fight Blackbeard now. And then Kid's showing up at Elbaf. And then some stuff's going on with Kuma at Marijua. That's kind of crazy. And then we cut away. We're like, okay, we don't get to see all that. Few chapters later, why are we're seeing Shanks at Elbaf, about to, like, Kid rolling up on Shanks at Elbaf? Why are we seeing Shanks right now? We're in the middle of Egghead Island. This is so cool. This is what I'm so happy about with the Final Saga rolling, which is, it seems like Oda is not hesitating to switch scenes a lot, because there's no point in holding back, because everything's supposed to be happening simultaneously. We're not supposed to be waiting anymore for the end of an arc for outside world stuff to happen, right? Everything's supposed to be happening at the same time. That's so cool. Hurrying Lyrics, thanks for being a Yonko tier member for 1 month. Morj, do you think there's any chance that Kid won't fight Shanks? I think that there's a chance that Kid won't fight Shanks right now. Something could happen that's like, okay, we'll settle this at Muskets at Dawn or some shit like that. I don't know. And by that time, Luffy and the Straw Hats have made their way over to make this, make this meeting more of a three-way, right? I think that that's the only possibility, because otherwise what we're looking at is most likely Kid getting his ass kicked again. I don't know who hasn't kicked his ass at this point. So Shanks throughout the series has been kind of established as the most untouchable character, right? Out of all of the characters, he has the most sort of untouchable presence to him so far, right? For Kid to be the first character to land anything on Shanks would be a huge deal, right? Law hitting Blackbeard is very different in that Blackbeard has been portrayed as one of the most touchable characters in the entire series, right? And I know how that sounds. Everybody on their first go-around can land a hit on Blackbeard. I'm just saying that there's a very big difference in how the audience is going to feel if we see Kid land an attack on Shanks versus land an attack on Blackbeard. And one other thing I'd add is that the way that Oda's kind of writing it, he's very nonplussed by the situation. He's very far above it. I think it would be a little odd if Kid starts fucking him up after this, right? Because, there's just a difference. Like, when you have Kid facing off against Big Mom, it's like Big Mom being all cackling and overconfident and everything like that, and you know that, okay, at the end of the day, Kid and Law are going to be able to overcome her in some way, right? With Shanks, the vibe is very much just like, he doesn't know. This kid doesn't know. He doesn't know what he's in for. Because last time he didn't even get to see me. Last time he didn't get to see my face. Dr. Farewell says Dorian Broggy coming back was so nostalgic. Yes, agreed. What a pair of characters. Wait, time out. Can we talk about this real quick? Go check out, okay, the video that launched my channel. The video that made me a known YouTuber, period. That took my channel from like 4,000 subscribers to like 15,000, and then from there I got to keep climbing. Was the Shanks and Elbaf video. And the entire time I talked about Little Garden and the parallels between what we expect with Luffy meeting Shanks to the Little Garden scenario, right? So Dorian Broggy were a huge part of my argument for why we're going to be seeing Shanks and Elbaf. I was the first person that kind of really made Shanks and Elbaf popular, because if you look through it after that, then you see lots of more Reddit posts talking about Shanks and Elbaf, stuff like that. Most of them referencing my video or taking on arguments directly from my video. All the arguments in my video you don't see in existence before that. So I like to think I really put Shanks for Elbaf being Shanks' arc on the map. There are a few people who said Shanks might be in Elbaf because there's a Viking connection, because Shanks has a Viking ship and then Elbaf is a Viking inspired place or whatever. So that was kind of like a really, really, really niche theory. So you'll find one or two like Spanish videos or something like that talking about it. But I didn't talk about Viking stuff at all because I didn't know about that. Back then, the overwhelming consensus was that Elbaf is obviously Big Mom's arc. The overwhelming consensus, this was before Big Mom had revealed that she's going to Wano. Overwhelming consensus was we're leaving Whole Cake, then we're going to go to Wano where we deal with Kaido, then we're going to go to Elbaf where we deal with Big Mom, and then Shanks will have some arc down the line. That was the overwhelming consensus. I was the first person to really popularize the idea that no, Wano is going to be Wano is going to be Kaido and Big Mom. They're both going down there. And then on top of that, Elbaf is going to be saved for Shanks. Over time, once people realized, hey, Big Mom is going to Wano. Okay, looks like Big Mom's going to be defeated in Wano. Okay, looks like Shanks is probably coming up around the corner. Okay, Elbaf's probably around. It just slowly started to become more accepted that, yeah, Elbaf probably is going to be Shanks' arc. So there's no singular moment that I got where it was just like, everyone's like, holy shit, you know what, Morj was right. Elbaf is going to be Shanks' arc. It was kind of just like, this was like, slowly just see more people talking about it till it just eventually becomes commonplace. And then nobody's really thinking like, oh, wait, Morj talked about this way earlier, even though that's the video that made me popular, and it's by far the most popular Elbaf Shanks theory out there ever. Keenan, thank you very much. Thanks for coming through. W for Elbaf being Shanks arc theory, and thank you, Keenan. I knew Keenan would appreciate it. I appreciate you. I'm seeing people giving me an uncommon Morj W for the Elbaf theory. You know what? I'll take it. My theories back then were so good. I predicted Big Mom to Wano. Again, you guys have to go back in time. We're not going to talk about this is not a day to talk about the raid failing. This is not a day to talk about that. We're talking about something else, right? Young Morj. Young Morj when he... Oh, my God. We got to go back in time. This was a period where Big Mom had said, I don't like the Giants. So everybody was like, oh my God, that means that Big Mom's, the Elbaf arc is going to be the Big Mom arc. And it just makes so much sense. So we'll leave Whole Cake Island and then fight Kaido and Wano and then fight Big Mom and Elbaf. And it makes perfect sense. And I was the first person to be like, no, Big Mom is going to Wano and she goes down with Kaido in Wano there. So I said that, and that was already like a what the fuck sort of theory. But it made sense if you watch the video. It makes a lot of sense. It makes a tremendous amount of sense. It's actually perfectly set up throughout the entirety of post-time skip. Everything is leading up to a showdown with Kaido and Big Mom, right? So I explained that. And then I said, on top of that, here's the real twisty theory. Elbaf, which you all think is for Big Mom, that's actually for Shanks. And everything makes sense if you go back and look at Little Garden. So that was the two-piece, right? Those two theories. And then Big Mom and Wano came true. That was probably the peak of people saying I was a good theorist. Big Mom and Wano coming true. Everybody was sucking me off back then. The raid failing really did a number on that reputation, but it is what it is. I still think my theories are good. Great, even. But people are welcome to disagree. Next person, Oscar Mondragon says, lol, raid fail dude says he has great theories, lol. God damn it. It's just... Jordan Taylor, thanks for being a Yonko tier member for 5 months. The raid failing was your Marine Forward. Wano ending was your ace death. What? Thanks. One of the most touchable characters.